What's there to say about a man who can't be questioned? Wait. That was a question, wasn't it? So was that. Oh well. Hello one and all, and welcome to a new mini-series I'm doing about analyzing and diving into a certain character. Now, I'm familiar with Kamen Rider, not so much most other toku, and hell, even my knowledge on Kamen Rider isn't up to par with most. But what I do know is writing, and I figured I have a subpar knowledge on video editing, so I decided to go for broke. However, we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about Terui Ryu in the first installment of Behind the Kamen. Now, to begin with Terui, we have to jump into his backstory. And, I think it goes without saying, major spoilers! Terui Ryu was a normal cop when, upon returning home one night, his family was found frozen, and when the cop reached to embrace his family, they shattered, imparting one single clue towards their murderer's identity: the W memory. Thus, feeding a seething rage and fostering a contempt towards the users of Gaia memories. However, this contempt is his most valiant asset. Without this trauma, Terui would be as vulnerable to mental attacks via Gaia memories as much as you or I. But Terui is instead completely immune to them. His mind is unclouded as he stands at the starting line towards vengeance and closure on the literal cold case of his family's murder. Terui, of course traumatized by the death of his entire family, as one should be, he has walled himself in. We see it multiple times during the season, and in his signature phrase, he doesn't take lightly to being questioned. His actions, much like a certain president of the United States, are utterly unclouded by a need for friends, because as long as weather still roams the earth unpunished, Terui can't properly move on and get attached to people. It's just another thing to be taken from him, so instead he borders his feelings on hunches meets the end to his suffering, cutting himself off and distancing himself from those who weather could hurt. In fact, it's not until he meets Shotaro and Philip that he is anything other than irrationally angry and off-putting. His debut is lugging around a toy sword and stealing Shotaro's investigations. He's not nice to anybody, he doesn't play around when it comes to fighting, and lastly, he's straight up deadly. However, his actions, as unclouded as I said them to be before, may be a little shrouded. His power is afforded to him by Shroud, a mistress without a face who he met in the woods. She is actually really cool. She also has Terui on a tight leash. You see, she's leading him along, telling him everything he wants to hear. She's obsessed with creating a form of total hatred and vitriol. Cyclone XL Extreme. A form of total hatred. She wants to use it to destroy the Sonozaki family. She's using Ryu's hatred as a means to that end. However, when he's not progressing fast enough, and after confronting Weather's user, he is beyond pissed off, and instead of pouting for a few episodes, he storms the Shroud and demands more power. See, the one thing I love about Ryu is that he's not gonna pout without a reason. He may be losing, but he's actively hunting and fighting Weather at any chance he can. So, needless to say, Shroud was more than pleased and willing to give him the power-up he needs to beat Weather. On one condition. He beat this motocross track. Because it's Kamen Rider. So, after countless attempts, Shroud just kind of gets bored and gives it to him. She realizes the hate is gone and has been overtaken by an overwhelming amount of conviction towards saving the people affected by Weather other than him. Through seeing the damage Weather has done to other families and individuals opens his eyes to how big of an issue he actually is, especially his human experimentation on unwilling participants to further his own plot to overthrow the Sonozaki family and rule over the Gaia memories. So, it's reckless ambition in Terui versus calculated testing and meticulous research by Weather. Terui's power is a means to an end. Find the Weather dopant and get revenge. That's been his life since the incident, until he finds something grander to fight for, to heal the scars of those unable to fight for themselves. So when this conviction overtakes him, It's understandable why Shroud is not pleased, and basically signs his death warrant by giving him a power he's not ready to use yet. If he uses this power-up, he can die. And not because of weakness, but just simply due to the fact that his body is not ready to take this kind of speed. Needless to say, Terui takes the power and finds Weather. Him and Psycho are doing another experiment, and Weather's confidence overtakes him, and the fight rages on until Akihiko tries to warn Terui that he could possibly die, because he doesn't even know yet. And Shotaro steps in and trusts in Terui's new maturity. So with no guarantee of survival, Terui upgrades and becomes Kamen Rider Axel Trial. And it's a perfect place for the insert song Leave All Behind, which I absolutely love, by the way. It's one of my favorite insert themes from all of Kamen Rider, just simply because it fits the character more than any other one that I can think of. In the trial form, clicks the stopwatch on the trial Gaia memory and shucks it to the sky, throwing caution to the wind and charging Weather at incredible speeds. He charges, and seriously, the best payoff in W happens. In a moment that's one of my favorites, he kicks the everlasting hell out of Weather, each kick leaving a trial mark on the dopant before he catches the stopwatch and stopping it at 0.98 milliseconds. All the trial marks burst and blast Weather to his human form, in one of the funniest examples of lazy editing I can possibly think of. Which leaves Terui in a weird spot. Now without the boogeyman looming over his life, he's able to smile and share a reminder of his suffering with his new friend. The scars can never be undone for Terui. His biological family is dead, and that's never going to change. But he can finally move forward and have a family of his own. He can move forward and take notice of the family around him. Shotaro, Philip, and Akihiko are his family now. And, if you don't believe me, watch the movies. Watch the V-cinemas, watch the shorts. We see the lengths he goes to protect Akihiko and everything. Especially in his standalone movie, where he obtains a new form, Kamen Rider Axel Booster. However, we might add that on another day. In conclusion, Terui Ryu is an extremely fun character to watch. Of course, my background is in dramatic movies and dramatic TV shows, but to see a character overcome such a harrowing obstacle is always inspiring to me. Sounds a little stupid, but when I see a character overcome insurmountable odds, it resonates and makes me take a step back and consider my own problems. It helps. It heals. Stories are powerful, and W especially is a powerful series in the Heisei Phase 2 library. I haven't talked to a single person who didn't like it, and I hope you guys liked it too. I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you stick around for more episodes to come. I hope I didn't make you angry, and I hope I didn't say anything that sounds dumb. Thank you all, and I'll see you later.